Alright, cool. I am ready to rock and roll with this one. So, I wanted to make a video to discuss about how my dating has gone in the year of 2024. We are 3 days away from 2025, so I thought it would be a good opportunity just to talk about how things have been going this year, and you know, and just talk about it's not only about like talking about the good things, because to be honest, it's been a pretty good year, like in the dating scene, believe it or not, because 2023 was actually, in the context of dating, very uneventful. And that was because I wasn't using it as much. But this year it's been interesting, and I wanted to take this a time, capture it, and I got a couple of notes here on this screen, and yeah, I just want to kind of go through it and just kind of summarize everything that's been, things I've basically learned from this. So just to set the context, I am 27 years old. I've just turned 27 2 months ago, so in October, and I have never been in a long-term relationship, let alone a relationship. And prior to 2024, I've never had a single date, ever. So I don't know what the core reason for that is. I don't know if it's because I've been playing it the long game, or if it's because I just haven't been really putting myself out there, whether that be through apps or in real life. But needless to say, I just never had that opportunity, or never gave myself the opportunity to do it. So I guess what we can start off with is talk about, well, what have been the good things? Or do we want to talk about the good things or bad things first? I think let's talk about the bad things, and then we can end it on the good things. So, okay. So, it is currently December, and a week ago, I have decided to take a break from using dating apps. So I deleted Hinge, I deleted Bumble, I deleted all the apps off of my phone, because I felt like it was at the point where I was losing myself. I felt like I was getting burnt out. I felt like I was feeling a lot more, I wasn't feeling myself. I was feeling, like when you're eagerly waiting for that eventual reply from someone, from that person, and especially if it's like a hot person or someone you find incredibly attractive, you're always in the back of your mind thinking, will they reply? And then when they do reply, your dopamine or your energy, you're on an absolute high, thinking, oh my gosh, she replied to me. And I look back and I thought, I just don't think that's the best way to live life, because I don't like the idea of like experiencing the highs and experiencing the lows, based on the actions of other people. And I didn't really like how I was handling and responding to those kind of events, because in reality, and this is the harsh reality, this isn't the first, and this won't be the last time I'll probably go through such a situation. We all have time in the day. We all have that decision to say, do we want to message this person? Do we want to get back to them? We may all be busy as well, so they may not reply, but we all have our own lives. And what they do is ultimately outside of my control. And I don't like focusing on the things that aren't in my control. And that's why there have been times where I just feel burnt out. There are times I just feel like sad because I'm thinking, and you don't even have the motivation because you didn't get a reply from those people. So it doesn't give me that motivation and that energy to continue using these apps and swiping and potentially finding new connections. Because I do think that the more you use it, and it is a numbers game, the more opportunities you have to be exposed to a variety of people. It is true that there are plenty of fish in the sea, but when you catch some, or when you have some matches, and you have some conversations that's been going, you don't have as much time to actually swipe and potentially increase your options. Instead, you're actually putting all your energy on the existing ones, and it's actually having a negative impact. And that's one of the reasons why I can definitely say that I haven't been as consistent as I would hope to be when using, especially Hinge. I think Hinge has been my most It's, in fact, just for context, I've had 4 dates in total this year, and I'm very proud of that. And all of them came from Hinge. And that's why I thought, Hinge is a good app. It is pay to play. it really is. Like, I don't think I've found one single match from using Hinge, without using the premium, just using the free version. So, yeah. So, hold on, not straight thought again. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of like how I've been using it, I haven't been consistent. And yeah, so I think I'd almost like to say almost 2 weeks ago, I was having a really cool conversation with someone on Hinge, and that and I kid you not, I was spending 40 minutes per message to this person because it was like we were having like really deep conversations. I kind of felt like this person, we were vibing at that level, and then when I came around to the point of asking about, they unmatched me, and that resulted in me to be absolutely heartbroken because I was thinking in the back of my mind, I thought, this person's so cool. She may not be the most attractive compared to the other options I was talking to, the other people I was talking to, but the thing I quite liked about her was that, and in terms of emotional and what she wanted, it definitely aligned with what I was looking for. And I was thinking, yo, this is kind of sick. I was like, we both are having, to be honest, I started off like thinking there is no shot there's no way having continue this conversation, but it kept going. Even when I said things like some little random things, like I even said things like I've never been in a relationship, because look, man, I'm not gonna lie about these things. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I've been in plenty of relationships. I'm like, I'm not going to lie about myself, man. And if you can't handle that, it is what it is. So I do appreciate putting in. It was definitely one of those vulnerable conversations where I was being true, raw dog, and just being true to myself and just ultimately following my heart. But when that happened and when I felt heartbroken, it told me that, and that was kind of that key trigger for me to then, and that was the key motivator for me to realize, you know what, I need to take a step back. And I need to take a break from dating apps, because these things do happen. Like, I've had conversations which has, it may be flowing well, and then all of a sudden they're a match. But this one just kind of hit the icing on the cake, and it told me that, they were just things, because at the end of the day, these things happen. I think it happens to all of us, but it was how I responded to it. It just told me that, there's something wrong in my foundations, and I thought, sure, I should keep going, but I want to take a step back, focus on the things that truly make me happy, take that break and give myself some breathing space, and basically understand what is going on. Because for me to feel that kind of heartbreak over an event that is going to be, not the last, I'm sure, it just kind of, it was like a red flag to me, and I thought, you know what, this is really concerning to me. I've never experienced that kind of before, so I thought, let's just take a break, see what we can do. And one of the things I'll definitely say is, like, again, you have to remind yourself just how important, look, being in a relationship is a nice to have, but not a must. Focus on being the best version of yourself. And I think, as simple as that is, I think these are like the simple things you need to keep, that has to align with your beliefs, that should be embedded in your values and your beliefs and how you go about yourself. And ever since that heartbreak, I've been trying to do things to try and improve myself. I'm improving myself because I want to improve myself. I'm improving myself to be a better version of myself. I'm doing that for me. That's where I vision myself to be, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for other people. I'm not doing it for other women, or so I could be a better male, a better mating partner. No, man. I'm doing it for myself. And I know my potential. I know the kind of person I want to be. And I'm trying to take action to try and get, take step by step, try and get closer and closer to being that particular person. And then, I think, so that was one thing. Like, that kind of heartbreak just kind of taught me that I was like, there's, I'm definitely not having the right focus in my life. Like, I wasn't focusing on my personal stuff. Those things should be the most important things. And, if they do want to reach out to you, if they want to, you got to have that mentality of thinking, I'm a busy person. If you want to link up, if you want to meet, let's do it. If you don't, cool, I'll move on. You got to have that mentality, because I am a busy person, and you got to try and make yourself busy. Focus on the things that really matter. And to be fair, dating is a good thing. I think it is important. I do like the idea, and I am excited at the opportunity to meet different people and having pretty cool experiences. That sounds cool to me. But in the meantime, I think it is important to continue to better myself and continue to prove myself, so I can be true to that person who's like, who's complacent and happy. And it's like, I can go into this thinking, I don't need to go into this thinking, it'll make my life complete. No, I've already made myself complete. Let's have two wholes together and make something sick, as opposed to two halves making a whole, but both are kind of clinging onto one another. So that is definitely one of the things, and I think taking a break from the dating apps has definitely allowed me to have that time for me to really focus on the things that really matter to me. So, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I went round to, and finally came round to, achieving the 50k steps of walking in one day, which is in essence 25 miles. I've been working on other things. I'm not going to say too much about those things. I'd rather let my results speak for itself, as opposed to me just saying it outright. But I have been doing things to try and improve myself. I'll leave it at that, because I know if the more I go into that kind of thing, the less likely I'm going to do it. I value action as opposed to talking a shit ton about it. If you think about where I got that idea from, just watch Jim Ron's motivational on revealing your personal endeavors. It's a good video. It's actually a pretty banger thing. So, what else? Yeah, so currently and actually recently, in the context of dating, look, I matched with someone who I was definitely really attracted to, and the conversation was going incredibly slow on Hinge. I managed to get a number, interestingly enough. Like, I basically said, look, the conversation was slow. Do you fancy meeting up in person over a drink? Get to know each other further over a drink. Because at the end of the day, I ain't got time to be messing around and, just doing the small talk. Instead I'm just like, look, I did try to get to know you on Hinge, but it's like, if it's taking you days to reply, what do you want me to do? So that's why I thought, look, I'll be a gentleman, I'll be frank about it. And that's cool. They shared a number, and they said they'll be free after New Year. I texted them, I basically said, are you free on this day? They said, yeah, they are, or possibly, basically. And I try to, one of the lessons I've learned is, it's the same situation. I've had a similar situation that happened probably early of this month, or towards the end of November. Someone matched me on Hinge. Someone actually liked me first on Hinge. I saw it and I thought, holy crap, what a concept. I was like, God damn, she was fit. What the hell? And so, the conversation was nothing really much to say. And my default was to just go straight for the number. I thought, screw it. She did. And then, I texted her to just try and arrange something. And then when I said, hey, you free? So she said she was free on this day. And I said, all right, cool. Are you free? Would you like to meet at this place? Then all of a sudden, she basically said, look, I don't think it's a good idea that we should meet. Hope you understand. That was it. And one of the things I kind of took away from that is, we didn't really have the time, or we didn't have much common ground. We didn't really have the opportunity to get to know each other more. And that's why I personally think she did that, because she didn't know who I was all about. she didn't know. It's like, oh, is this someone? It's just a random dude. You didn't really give yourself that chance to get to know each other more. And I got that feedback from even another match who liked me. And she, when I immediately, again, within like 3 texts, asked for the number, she said, okay, I think it's a good idea, but I think it'll be good to get to know each other. And I completely agree with that. I think it's a balance. Just share little things about each other. Make sure we have some common ground. Make sure that, you guys are, whatever it is, right, have a little conversation. If you're looking forward to it, it's not just about looks, dude. So make sure that they're on your level. Make sure there's common ground, or making sure that you're thinking, yep, I look forward to getting to know you even further in person. But as long as we make sure that none of us are, as long as we're both confident that we're not serial killers, we're not going to be matching an absolute creep. You got to at least take that initiative and do that. So when I matched with this one, I don't know when I matched, it took ages as well. I was thinking to myself, and when I got the number, so even though I've set up the date, and it's currently the 28th of December, I was thinking, I did say, are you free next week? They said, yeah, they are. But I'm like, but ever since then, I've been trying to get to know them a little bit more, unraveling little bits, because I wouldn't be surprised if a similar situation happened where they had the egg, they had a bad feeling, and they just called it off. So that's why I thought, okay, let's just get to know each other just a little bit, have a little something, and, but the challenge with this one was that they were still taking ages. Even on Hinge, they were taking like a week per message. And even in this case, it was like they were taking ages to reply. And it was like, to the point where I was like, overthinking things. Even a week ago, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should double text. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, honestly. And when I did that, I kind of lost self-respect for myself. And she did reply the next day, in all fairness. But again, why was I doing all these things? Because again, my mentality was behaving a bit differently, especially because this one was actually really attractive. And I was kind of behaving a bit differently on this one. But it kind of bothered me because I don't care who you are as a person, whether you're highly attractive or not. I think you shouldn't make compromises to your values and your principles. So if you don't message me back, I'm like, why should I really go out of my way to try and, think about, oh, did I say the wrong thing, or should I send a follow-up, or thinking about the next steps and all that bollocks. Because I don't know, I personally think, like, if they have the time, they will try their best to try and make time to try and communicate to you. If it's taking days, I don't know on this, to be quite honest. I get that all of us are living busy lives. And to be honest, when I had the 4 dates, I think at least 2 of them, I'm pretty sure 2 of them, they weren't very active on texting. And it was like, instances where it was taking days for them to reply. But back then I never chased or never sent a follow-up. I just gave it time, and it worked out in the end, and then I ended up getting to see them, and it was good points because it showed you weren't desperate, you're willing to walk away from the situation. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But in this case, and I remember when I was talking to one of my mates on this, he did say something similar, like, you had to be really careful, especially when it comes to attractive ones. It is so easy to put them on a pedestal and try to like compromise your values and to try and make this work. But I think all that does is it just makes you more and more desperate and makes you think you have no options. Now, in my case, like, because I'm taking a break from apps and I'm talking to this person offline, that's what's making it difficult, because I'll be honest, like, I don't have an abundance of options because I'm only talking to 2 people at the moment. And that's because I got their numbers off the dating apps. The rest of the matches I had, I just deleted the accounts and I just moved on because the others were just saying not much. But, it is difficult because you have this mentality thinking, oh, these are my only options. This one's really cool. It's like you feel like you don't have an abundance of options. And it just makes you feel desperate. And especially I didn't realize this. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize, like, even when it comes to being more attractive, I was like, man, sending follow-ups and thinking, oh my gosh, they didn't, feeling sad that they didn't reply to me and all that stuff. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. And but again, it just, part of the thing where I'll just say in response to this is I shouldn't be having to compromise myself. I shouldn't have to be compromising my values. I think you should be a gentleman and understand that people have their own lives just like yourself. But I really don't feel the need, and I don't think it's right morally, to be putting this person on a pedestal and think they can get away with, if there is some kind of, because to be honest, even when I'm talking to this person, I don't know if what they're looking for, are they looking for a free drink? I don't know. It's really hard to say. We've been having good banterous text left, right and center, but I don't know if they're looking for something serious such as myself, like myself. I don't know if they're just looking for that free drink. And that's why I'm like, even if I did send a follow-up, the way they see it is, I'm pretty sure, like, they get a free drink out of it, so they may very well reply. But yeah, it is interesting to kind of just see the way I behave, especially when it comes to the attractive ones. I think one of the important things is try and stick to my values, stick to my principles, keep your options open. I think is the other thing as well. Like, that you have many other options too. Like, it may not seem like it. Like, for instance, like, I think when I go back on Hinge, probably next year, you may only have one match, and then you're talking to this person. But keep your options open. Keep using the app. Keep looking at other options, because there may be something better just around the corner. And I don't mean to sound selfish, but I do believe that there is someone who would take the time out of a day to try and get back to you and communicate to you. I think there'll be someone who's even better. Now, obviously, don't have this mentality of like, oh, I could see this as I can imagine the future wife, what they'll look like, or the attributes and all that stuff. But it's like, just be complacent. If they hit your metrics, base metrics, that's great. If they make you feel cool, excellent, Merry freaking Christmas. But especially during the texting stages and trying to set up a date, just relax. Don't put yourself in a pedestal. Focus on your craft. Focus on building. Just keeping your time occupied, because at the end of the day, we all have our own lives. So don't be living your life waiting for that eventual match, waiting for that eventual reply that may never happen. Just keep moving forward and keep progressing. And look, I haven't even checked my phone today. I might have checked it early this morning. Still no reply. I was having that temptation to go back on it, see if anything happened. If it does, great. If it doesn't, that's also great. That's also fine. Because I realised I just don't like that. I don't want to be a slave to my phone, and I don't want my day to be determined by whether someone replied to me or not. If they are interested, I'm sure they would reply. I'm pretty sure on that. I don't think that's so difficult, man. I don't think it's that difficult to reply. If you're, obviously if you're busy, that's fine. But if they're interested, they would reply. I don't think me sending another message is gonna make any difference. I'll think about that, but I'm giving myself time just to relax and chill. Because I might send something so small, or I might not. Like, I'm giving myself time just to chill. You can reply if you want. If you don't, I don't care how attractive you are. That's just how I've got to rock and roll up in here. Because I don't even know if they're serious. So yeah, that's just one thing. Right, what else is there? Taking breaks on the app. I think I kind of touched onto that. I've just been burnt out and not getting many results. And I think that's down to a couple of things. I think it is important to have a mentality of like being a bit cold-hearted, in the sense that you just got to keep moving forward. And, regardless if you have replies, regardless if you have matches, you still have to put in the time to swipe, match, and like those profiles that you're going to like. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think most of the likes I've gotten, at least, or worse than the matches I've gotten was coming from me initiating that like, and they like me back. But that's definitely diminished, especially within this month, is because I have been spending a good portion of our energy messaging those kind of people, and it's not a great value. I don't think it's you're not getting great returns from that either, and and it's not the greatest, and it's a huge L when you're and the other thing I'll say is like, especially when you don't have anything else going on in your free time, like, and that's just why taking a break from dating apps has given me the opportunity to focus on other things that are a bit more important to me. But around that time, it wasn't the greatest in headspace world. I wasn't the greatest headspace when using these apps because I had nothing else better to do in my time. So my mood could easily be influenced by whether I get matches or responses to messages. If someone unmatched me, that's going to bum me out. Just all those things. Like, it really got to me. And that's why I just thought, you know what, take a step back and just chill. I think I had something else as well. I did mention follow-up tags. But there was an instance where on Hinge, I remember just how when you send depending on the context, when you send a follow-up, just be chill about it and also be a gentleman. You know, make it easy for them to reply. Like, I remember one instance where I was being kind of a dick. And to be fair though, this is one person who kind of this is someone who said, let's get to know each other first. I was the one who's trying, then I was like, alright, cool, let's get to know each other. And I was trying to like get to know them on a bit of a deeper level, but they didn't say shit. And I didn't send a follow-up because it's been a week. And I thought, hey, wasn't you the one who said that? But the way I phrased it and the way I said it wasn't the greatest, and I immediately got unmatched for that. And but the takeaway from that is like, you can send a follow-up, just be a bit more friendly, be a bit more banterous, and just don't be so serious, I think. Because once you have that serious thinking, oh, you know, you must be writing, I remember thinking something lines of something corny is like, oh, you must be writing an essay trying to reply to this. You know, I think it's a great idea that we should get to know each other. And I remember saying that in a sarcastic way. I think that was the vibe I was trying to get. I'm thinking, there's no shot I'm going to be, what outcome were you expecting from that, man? And for her to like unmatch me immediately after was an eye-opener for me. Like, what were you trying to achieve from that? Especially from a stranger, dude. You know, so that's just one thing. Just like, don't take it so seriously. Don't be so serious. Don't be so deep. And also one thing I did like, don't take it so seriously. Don't be so deep and don't go too heavy as well. I think the heavy stuff you can technically do if it's with the right person. If they're giving you that same level of energy, you can absolutely do that. But if it's during the early stages of the conversation, let's just keep it light. Let's keep it lighthearted. You know, let's see how it goes, and then we can take it from there. That's how it is. You just kind of go with the flow. Right. Burnout we've already talked about. In terms of consistency, I don't think I've been in comparison. Like, I think the metric from what I remember is like at least use it for 1 hour a day. I've actually been struggling to use it 1 hour a day. I'll be lucky if I'm even able to get it within 30 minutes. Because when it comes to Hinge, especially as an average looking person, I hope I'm average looking. I'm not below average, I hope so. But I've gone okay-ish matches. But I think it is a numbers game. It is about putting in the effort, putting in the volume. But I do remember one week where I was grinding it a bit, and I've gotten a good amount of matches on that 1 week. And I think that was since I changed my profile pictures, played around with the prompts, and I think I've gotten pretty good results from it. So changing up your photos, playing around with the prompts, it can be a good thing, by the way. So definitely don't dismiss those kind of ideas. I also remember, so that's also, but the problem was I just wasn't putting in the effort. You know, I also invested crap ton of money utilizing the boost. I don't think that really helped as much, and I don't think any of the matches that I gotten, sure I may have gotten likes, but I don't think nothing came from the boost at all. So I don't think that was really a good use of my money. But in terms of the volume and trying to utilize it, yeah, I was trying to use it in the evening because I don't really want to be using it in the morning. And again, because I thought my brain is going to be fried, I thought I was going to feel sad because I thought, oh, I've got no matches, no messages. You know, you're already starting the morning on an L, basically. And I was just thinking about it, and I thought maybe using it in the evening, but the problem when you use it in the evening is I'm already exhausted from work and doing exercising and working on my personal stuff. It's like, I need to definitely try and carve out some time to try and do it. Dude, one of my boys even said like he was using it. he said minimum 3 to 4 hours. I'm thinking, yo, bro, what? My friend, my brother, what? And he was using it constantly. I'm like, and I thought that sounds insane. But hey, he's found someone, so I'm like, I'm very tempted to try and put in that kind of effort, but it needs to be strategic. And if I do that for like a month, it's not a bad thing, but I think I just got to be really careful and ensure that I don't burn out from excessive usage, because that sounds ludicrous. But is it possible? Sure. But I think the moral to this is, I think volumes, it is a numbers game, and the more you put in, I'm sure you're going to get the output. That's just how it is. Texting. Anything to learn from texting? I mean, I think I've done all right. And to be quite frank about it, I think, especially when it comes to the dead conversations where you're like, when I'm like, there have been instances where you ask a question, they don't ask you, they may respond with like with very minimal effort, and they don't even ask you back. You know, to those ones, I try to think how I'm meant to keep a conversation on this. You know, that's why I just use AI or ChatGPT to try and help me to at least keep the conversation going, because man, if it's two-sided, then it's a different story. You can at least open up, get to know each other more. It's great. But there have been instances where I just think you're stuck and you think, what am I meant to say? That's why I use it. And it does help to an extent. You know, it does help to keep the conversation flowing. You may be thinking, oh, that's not original at all. But when you're in a situation where it's like, you're trying to engage some kind of conversation and they're not really giving you that energy back, it's like, what do you want me to do? I can't keep coming back to you and just like make it like an interview. I'm thinking, I don't want it to be like an interview and be like a one-sided conversation. But it was definitely a good usage of that. But I don't want to be too overly reliant on using AI, of course, because I think you should obviously text as yourself and be truly authentic to yourself. Because even if you may have the best text game, especially if you're getting someone else or AI to do it, you're still going to have to present that in real life anyway. So you might as well present yourself as true and authentic to yourself. But I mostly use AI when my brain can't think of what else to say. It's alright. It's alright. I think I did say when it comes to matches, just use it. Just keep the messages light. Just try and get to know each other. And when you think there's like a vibe, something's going, ask for the number, get to set up a date, and great. You know, it's just the balance between it. Like, I don't think we need to be spending weeks and days or months trying to get to know someone and trying to build like some pen pal stuff. We don't need to do that. Okay, so that's I would definitely say that's like the improvements that I'm definitely thinking about moving forward. The positives would easily be, you know, compared to like 2023 where I had no dates, I'm very proud that I even put myself out there, and I believe that every date that I have done, I've took something away from it, and I've learned something from it. You know, I feel like I've definitely improved. The first date was done. Okay, I guess the other thing is like, I'm not gonna go on my way to I'm not gonna be traveling 2+ hours to their home location just for this date. But it was the first date, so I thought, I've got nothing to lose by it. Apart from like 50 quid down the drain on food and train. But on the train ticket. But again, I took some valuable stuff from every single date. So each date is just, it didn't go anywhere. And I've even had 2 instances. So the first 2 dates were, so the outcome to that is like good experience, but they weren't my type. And they both led in one of us ghosting each other, or we ghosted each other. The third and fourth were decent dates, and it did result in rejection. You know, them texting me back when I asked for the second date. And it did suck. The reason one, it did definitely demotivate a little bit, but it's just part of the game. That's just how it is. You know, it's not a bad thing for them to say, no, I don't think it'll be a match. I think that's actually good news. Like, you would rather be with someone who likes your company, who think there's a good connection, and I think that's freaking great. And I think as long as you had a good time on a date, you're chilling. Like, Merry freaking Christmas. That's the way I see it. And yeah, but honestly, every date that I've done, I've gotten better at it in terms of at least maintaining a conversation, being the leader, like trying to at least contribute to it, and like try to organize things, the venue, and just being the one who's just kind of like going with it, you know, compared to like how I was in like my first date, where I think everything was kind of determined because I was going to a complete a city I wasn't very unfamiliar with. There wasn't much for me to do, but they kind of like led it to an extent. But the second to fourth was mostly on my side, but I think it was good. You know, I'm very impressed with how I've done. I honestly thought, and I think one of the biggest concerns that I had on this was I thought I was going to be a nervous wreck. Now, obviously, I think for every single day, I can definitely say that leading to the date or within like the first couple of minutes, I'm nervous. You know, I think that is 100% natural, you know, and that's completely fine. You know, I think that's just how it is. But then as you go into the date, you're a lot more relaxed. You're just being truly authentic to yourself. And that's actually one of the things I'm really proud of, is that I honestly thought I was going to be an absolute shy, an absolute nervous wreck, even like throughout the day, thinking I can't even be Kane in front of these women. But in actual reality, I'm actually doing really well in that. I'm actually putting myself forward. I'm being myself and just even like trying to crack smiles and just have a good time, really. And it's actually really good. I'm actually very impressed with that in terms of how I've been composed, how I composed myself, and how I've just been. You know, I feel like I'm put a real Kane forward, and sure, it hasn't led to anything, but I really do believe you're in the right direction, because you, through coming in as true and authentic Kane, they get to see the real person, and then they can actually make a true judgment as to whether they're going to be, if there's any connection or not. Because the thing is, the last thing I want is for them to be thinking, to put a fake version of myself, and they're attracted to that fake version, and then I'm basically being someone else. I'm someone I'm not, and I can't live that kind of life. So I am very proud that despite thinking I didn't think I had what it took to actually go in as true, as authentic to myself, I'm actually doing an excellent job at doing that, actually. So I'm very proud of that. Really proud of that. And I'm really proud I had 4 dating experiences. It's been really good, man. Really good. And it just comes to show that, you know, it is just putting in the effort. It is, and also, you know, just, and you know what's also really interesting? Like, I've had that habit of doing double texting, even with one of the dates. I remember double texting, but you had to remember that we all are busy people, and you just have to just focus on yourself. Try and fill in the void, like, because there's nothing worse than trying to just scrolling through your phone, anticipating the notifications. Bing! Someone sent you a message. You know, I'm thinking that's probably the most shallow way to live. So try and fill in that void. That's definitely something I would definitely say. Yeah, so, and the other things I would also say, I think one of the lesson maybe is like, yeah, if you're going to be going out in the night for a date, maybe have a shower before. That's just a potential suggestion I just heard this morning. Not bad, because I use shower in the morning. It might not be a bad idea to shower in the night as well, or at least before you head out to the date. Venue pick. Be careful what venue you pick for, and ideally, I'll probably at least stick with drinks for now, and then maybe the second and so on dates, we can then think about food and doing other activities as well. That's just, let's keep it simple. Let's give it an opportunity to get to know each other. It doesn't have to be like too serious, and yeah, put your best self moving forward. Okay, what else? And yeah, I get the rejections for the third and fourth. It weren't easy. I'll be honest. Like, though, it was definitely a hit to the stomach. It definitely was. And you may be feeling slumped and bummed out within the first day. But I think, and the other thing, and also is like, you have to go into each of these dates again. Think of it as like a night out, not as like an interview, trying to impress each other. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to be, at the end of the day, you have to realize, as long as you're having a good time, you may get to know something. Ironically, they may turn out to be a friend. They may not. It doesn't really matter. It's like, just focus on having a good time. You've had a good time, you win. If you find someone you connect with, that's even a bonus. Because it could take several dates, several instances, and many people to try to find that. But you still have to put in the effort, and you still have to be pushing forward and not take it personally. Because I think, look, when it came to the last one, I think the other thing I learned from that particular date is, after the day happened, I remember browsing through Reddit thinking, how do I send a follow-up to potentially arrange a second date? One of them just simply said, just don't overthink it, just say, hey, had a good time, let's arrange a second date. And I think that's not the best move. I think the best move you can say is, you can, rather than doing, and plus I sent it within the same night. I don't know, man, I'm not sure if that shows you're too keen. What I should have done is sleep on it, give it a day, and then if you're still interested, send a friendly message saying, hey, it's really nice to know you. I really had a good time. If you want to meet up again, let me know. So that way you put the ball in their court, as opposed to forcing the situation, onto them. But by giving them the power, at least I think they prefer that. So that's definitely one thing I'm going to try next time. Like, just leave the ball in their court. You're not there desperate thinking, no hard feelings and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's another thing I definitely learned from that. Let's see. Oh, and it was also, again, it kind of is similar in the texting and whether to send a follow-up. So with the last date, when I arranged the venue, and that was Saturday, I remember texting them the night before to say, hey, I found this place. What do you think? And they were very slow on texting. I wouldn't be surprised if they took like 3 to 4 days per text. So it was very hard to try and arrange this. Christ. But, on the actual day, they didn't say anything till lunchtime. Not even lunchtime, more or less in the afternoon. And I remember texting one of my mates thinking, this isn't right. I'm thinking to myself, you could at least said yes. And then I wouldn't be going out of my way to, because I kind of when it came to lunchtime, I didn't see you to reply. I just interpreted it as you know what, I'm not going to send a follow-up message. I'm not going to waste my time. I would have thought you would have got at least have the courtesy to tell me, at least have clear communication on when it comes to these things. If you can't do it, you can't do it. That's fine. Just let me know. And so yeah, I just kind of said, all right, cool. I'm going to chill in bed. Just do things, just keep myself preoccupied. And then she did eventually reply to, oh, sorry, I didn't see your message. I thought I originally replied, or whatever excuse she came up with. But what I liked is that you had those principles, you had that ground to just say, look, I'm a busy person. I do deserve respect, and I do deserve someone to at least have the courtesy to tell me, yes, I can make it or I can't. Like, at least let me know, innit? If you can't tell me that, I'm thinking, if you don't even have the courtesy to do that, I'm thinking, I don't think we'll be a great fit. I just think we need to give each other that same level of respect, and that's why I didn't say anything, and I left it because I thought, you know what, I don't care. I'm not going to be sending another message saying, oh, let's do another time. Bruv, if you didn't reply to me, it would have been over. Don't care. See, c'est la vie. But that's what I liked. I liked the fact you had your principles. It's a lot more different in this case if it's like, especially with someone attractive. It's a lot more difficult. And just for context, when I like the profiles on Hinge, I mean, obviously there has to be some level of attraction, but for the most part, I'm not really going for like the highly attractive ones if their profile isn't really giving me a good vibe. I'm actually going for the ones who are like, has a good vibe, they are similar, like they seem like interesting people. Looks is like, it's still at the top, I'll say, but not as high. So all the profiles I've liked, they're somewhat attractive, but not highly attractive, because there are things that I do value more that makes them, interesting and makes me think, oh, I'd like to initiate a conversation with you. But yeah, when this one popped up and I realized that this one was really attractive, I was like, damn. But again, I don't know, is this one of those same people looking for validation, looking for a free drink and all that good stuff. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to send another follow-up message, because I could potentially save 20 quid. I could potentially save 20 quid on the drinks, man. Man, but again, it comes down to like principles as well. It's like, look, I don't think it sounds right for me to be sending follow-up messages, man. If you're not sending me a follow-up message, it's like, there's plenty of women in the scene, and I think that's like courtesy to at least tell the other person, yeah, you're down to meet up, or at least trying to engage and like maintain the conversation. There has to be some level of interaction, at least some level of courtesy. And if you're not doing that, it's like, I'm sorry, like, that's just I gotta walk away. No matter how attractive you are, I still want to stay true to myself, stay true to my values, stay true to my principles. And yes, it's been like, for this particular person, it's been like a couple of days since they haven't said anything. I don't know if I'm gonna give myself some more time to chill, relax, just focus on the things that matter more to me. And I think I've hit all the points that I wanted to hit. There may be other points that I may have not conveyed in this one, but hopefully 48 minutes into the video, I hopefully have done justice and at least documented the progress and improvements to be made, that I've, all the experience I've gained in 2024, and it's been really great. Honestly, like, I've been doing this, I would never expected to experience all of these things. So it is a step in the right direction. And I can't wait for what 2025 has to bring. Dating is not just the only thing I've been working on, but it's just nice to just sit down and just kind of list out the things that I need to, that's been going well and things that haven't been going well. But if there's one thing I think that has to be really important to me, is having my principles and values and not compromising those things regardless of how attractive a person is. That's one. Number two would be, keeping yourself busy and focusing on the things that truly matter to you, instead of having the mentality of waiting for that eventual reply or matches from your dating matches. And enjoy your life and focus on being the best version of yourself, and focus on being truly happy with yourself, because if you're not happy with yourself, What makes you think you'll be happy in a relationship? I'm not saying that's a prerequisite or anything, but I'm saying really value and don't underestimate the value of being true, authentic, and having that self-love for yourself. That is incredibly important, and I think that really contributes to your overall self-confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very long video. We are 50 minutes in. I'm going to try and find out how to. I need to find some gameplay that's going to span 50 minutes. Wish me luck, man. I might not even. I don't know if I'm going to find gameplay or if I'm just going to just keep it raw and just have the bottle full screen. I will have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, I am your host Trujan, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope there's some things to take away from this. This is just, there's always room for improvement, but it's also good to see how far I've come, and especially how I was in 2023, let alone 2022 and before. Anyway, I am out. Peace. Alright, time for the Prosecco, baby. Let's go.